So I had a very interesting thought the other day, and I don't think anyone else has come to this conclusion as far as I know. However, in Dressrosa, we meet Sugar. Sugar is a part of the Don Quixote family, and she is the user of the Paramecia type devil fruit known as the Hobby Hobby fruit, which allows her to turn people into toys on touch. It also works on animals, so all living beings essentially, right? What is so interesting about her ability is that it's the closest to Blackbeard's that we've seen in the series as far as I know. Because like Blackbeard's devil fruit, her devil fruit negates other devil fruit powers. And we know this because when she turns Robin into a toy, Robin is unable to use her flower fruit powers as a doll. So I find that weirdly fascinating that not only does the fruit create a kind of identity erasure on a mass scale, because when Sugar touches someone, the whole world forgets who that person is. Not only that, but it also negates the devil fruit powers present in the afflicted individual, which I just find crazy good for some reason. Also, just pointing this out, I find it very funny that she bestows an affliction on different living beings while wearing a crown, and her eyes are emphasized in a way because she is wearing this weird like eye patch like accessory over one eye. And I say all that to say that she does remind me of Emu, and I wonder if she is a Emu allegory, because Emu gives power, but Emu can also kill anyone that they've given power to. So I wonder if she was an early allegory to Emu in that way. Because spoilers for Elbaf, we find out that Emu has different levels of a contract that they bestow upon a person, and that gives them an ability to give that person immortality, and they are able to change that person into a demon in some cases. So with all that being said, it's quite interesting that the other part of Sugar's hobby fruit is that she has to form a contract with the afflicted person to have control over them. Otherwise, they're just a free agent. So I wonder, was that truly foreshadowing to Emu? Because the two powers, now that I talked about them both, seem very similar. And I believe I spoke about this when we first got introduced to Emu's whole contract setup, how it's very much like Sugar's. So it's very interesting that Sugar can negate abilities upon bestowing a toy form to the afflicted individual. And doing so, she actually makes them immortal with an undying body, like how Emu does, because as far as we know, the toys themselves don't get old, much like how presumably the afflicted persons under Emu don't get old, and they simply regenerate from damage. The toys don't regenerate from damage, however. That is the only caveat to the ability, in which they're actually very susceptible to being damaged. They seem to have some kind of toughness, but they're still just toys, essentially. So they can still be broken. They can be popped, like what Gladius tried to do with Kyros back in the day. But yes, they are very much like the afflicted persons under Emu's control, which I find very interesting. But with that being said, enough toying around. If you're liking the video, press the like button. And if you're really enjoying the video, I would appreciate a subscription. However, to make sure that you never miss a Polyp Works video, please ring that bell. But in addition, if you were to be so kind, could you please also hit the hype button? It helps somehow. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polyp Works.